World War II, the campaign is huge. The story and the emotion behind it. So tell me about like what it's like to develop like that and why campaign is getting more and more important given how multiplayer is kind of the bread and butter of Call of Duty.
We've spent 3 years really focused on the campaign to make sure that we can deliver something that's emotionally impactful, that respects and honors the sacrifice and is authentic to what was really happening in the last Great War.
Do you think this brings in a more adult audience? By going back to World War II, something that is more familiar, boots on the ground, is that kind of a target demo?
Like you, I was a fan and a player before I became a developer, and I remember when Call of Duty started, and I remember its roots in World War II, and that was a special time for us. It may be the first Call of Duty World War II game for some players, and for others like yourself and me, it's a chance to go back to where it began. You've
gone from like a lot of futuristic guns and energy guns and stuff like that to these really old school machinery. What does it take to do all that research, and what is your favorite gun? I'm just personally, what do you play with?
From day one, we hit the ground running with our military historian who took us to the best museums in the world. We've got to go shoot the weapons. We've got to go stand in foxholes in the battlegrounds in Germany and Belgium and France. In multiplayer, those iconic arsenal of weapons, they have signatures that are powerful, and people know, right? That classic ping of the reload of the Garand, right? The feel of the M1928, the Thompson. Those are real weapons of today that we've all seen and we know. And we went, we shot them, we held them, we recorded the audio for them to really bring them to life. Now, I'm a big fan of the Airborne Division. Yeah, right.
You're an SMG player?
SMG, first to fight, loaded with some smoke grenades, and my parachutist training. Like, I love running that class.
Let's talk about War Mode then. Because that's a brand new thing across like all Call of Duties, really, which is like a multiplayer, multi-objective game. Where does that come from? Where did that idea come from, and why?
As the franchise moved into these Tier 1 soldiers, it became your individual skill and your individual accomplishments more than the squad, right? It's kind of a lone wolf experience in multiplayer. In World War II, it really was about teamwork. It was about common men and women working together and fighting together, and we wanted to capture that. If everyone was running airborne, you would not be successful. Absolutely not. It takes the firepower of an LMG armored division member of your squad, as well as a mountain division with a sniper rifle providing cover. It really brings a new sense of teamwork to multiplayer, so that's really exciting for us.
How important is competitive to Call of Duty as a franchise and to World War II? Because, we're going back to boots on the ground. How important is it that you have folks like Scump and Formal talking about Clayster talking about World War II, how excited they are, and whether or not they adopt it?
One of my most exciting moments on Advanced Warfare was COD Champs and seeing the best players on the planet compete. And so this game, I think, is really going to speak to that experience. And yeah, they've come out to say, hey, we think there's something really special about returning to boots on the ground in a gritty and fast-paced way. So I'm really excited. We're going to share more about the esports plans in a couple months.
And then my last question is, just given the landscape of FPS games right now, what is your kind of goal for Call of Duty? Because so much is sprouted up around this. I feel like Call of Duty was one of the originals and really kind of set the tone. Where do you want Call of Duty to sit?
As a developer, as a creative game maker, you want your game to be meaningful for fans. That's why we do this, and that's why this event here is so great. Our hope is that this becomes a springboard to bring people back to World War II and just thrills fans in the way that you and I have been thrilled with Call of Duty over the past, 10, 12 years?
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.